Hello, it's Stephanie with 270 Smokers. Today we're going to be making our apple habanero pork tacos inspired by our recent entry in the Mystery Box Challenge at a State Cook-Off Association where we won our golden ticket. Today we're cooking with some beautiful all-natural Smithfield pork tenderloin as well as their thick-cut applewood bacon, a variety of peppers, some citrus, and some mushrooms. And we're cooking everything on the 270 GS over Royal Oak Natural Briquettes. Half of a chimney of hot coals here, and a few briquettes in the bottom of our fire basket. There's very minimal prep that needs to be done on one of these Smithfield tenderloins. We're going to simply do a little bit of trim. We're going to take off a little bit of this outer layer here, the silver skin, just so that our spices have that nice fresh meat to absorb into. And this is easiest to do if you're working with really cold meat and just a simple fillet knife. You can just see how you get your knife just right underneath the surface, and that'll come right off. No problem. Because this is so nice and lean, I'm going to go ahead and just lightly coat this meat with a little bit of avocado oil. It has a higher smoke point than olive oil, so I really like using it in grilling. And then I'll spray my grates with a little bit of avocado oil as well. And then for our seasoning, we're using Head Country's Sweet and Spicy. I love this rub. I just think it is just such a natural complement to a savory pork dish like these tacos. You can see from the pieces of dried pepper in there, it's going to give this dish a nice little kick. Let's go ahead and just cut this in half. That'll just make this a little bit easier to handle on the grill. Just want some nice bite-sized pieces. This is going to render down. We're interested in the bacon fat as much as anything. A little tip is to go ahead and just about freeze this bacon before you're working with it like I am. I did not do that, and it's a very hot day. ThermoWorks tool for checking the temperature of our grate. We wanted to be right around 450 degrees, and that's where we are. I'm going to just spritz with our avocado spray. Oh yeah. This is really looking delicious. It's so nice and soft and tender. Apple habanero barbecue sauce. Probably my favorite barbecue sauce that's made. I can't tell you how many recipes I use this sauce in. We always like to glaze just when we're right at the end of our cooking period so that we don't burn the sugars. I'm going to take this first one off and let it rest. Okay, our final temp on this. Perfect. 142, exactly where we want it. We're ready to start with our bacon jam, and for this I want a little bit higher heat. So I'm going to render up all that gorgeous bacon. And so this is one of the things many things that I love about the 270 GS is I can adjust the height of my firebox for when I want a little bit hotter fire. I've got it in the lowest position right now, and I'm simply going to raise it up onto this handy little lip. Got all those nice coals. And then I'm going to slide my grill grates back over. Now we're going to just quickly render this off and then saute the fruit and veggies that go in this. While our bacon is rendering I'm going to go ahead and just finish chopping up these vegetables and the fruit that goes into the bacon jam. And the last thing we need to chop for our jam are these mushrooms. And you might not have thought mushrooms as a natural add to the bacon apple jam, but they were a mystery basket ingredient, so they had to be used. And I thought this the most appropriate place. Our bacon looks like it is about perfectly rendered. So we're going to go ahead and take the bacon out. We're going to go ahead and add our onions. Those are looking good. We'll go ahead and add our apples at this point. We'll also add our mushrooms. We're going to add back a little bit of our bacon fat. Just a bit. Go ahead and finish making our salsa. We're going to use just one nice fresh orange. Just cut between the membranes like so. We're going to season this with a little bit of Two Gringos Chop House Blend. This is just a really nicely balanced seasoning of salt, pepper, garlic, and I think a little bit of lemon. And then we're also adding a bit of brown sugar. Again, remember this is a jam. We want a little bit of sugar in there, but not too much. Add a little cider vinegar. That's going to give us that nice little white. It's also really nice for helping to deglaze our pan. And then I also like to add in just a little splash of orange juice. And now the best part, we add back all that bacon we had rendered. All that bacon we cooked down earlier comes back into play. Oh my goodness. For all the chopping we were doing earlier. So we've got our orange, the sweet red pepper, our spicy peppers. You can use any blend you want. I'd recommend the Serrano and a Habanero. Fresno if you can find that. And you could use fresh garlic if you like. You could also just use my favorite little seasoning here, the Chop House Blend. I like to just add a little bit of that to this salsa. And then a little bit of chopped chive, or if you like it to be a little bit brighter, a little bit of a chiffonade of some fresh mint is absolutely delicious in this salsa. We're going to warm a couple of corn tortillas. Just puffing up a little bit, so that's perfect time to turn these. And I'll tell you, grilling some tortillas just makes all the difference in the world versus a raw tortilla. And these are corn, by the way. Okay, we've got our tortillas and our jam. And we're just going to cut into this beautiful pork tenderloin and put it all together. Oh, this is perfectly cooked. It is just moist and succulent. Oh my goodness. We just want kind of a rough cut on these. It is kind of a rustic taco. I tell you, this is just outdoor cooking at its best. One of my absolute favorites. So we're going to layer down our bacon jam. Oh, that looks so good. And then add some pieces of our apple habanero pork tenderloin. And then some of our fruity salsa on top. Mm. Absolutely delicious.